What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Sports Rants with Abby and Friends. Of course, I'm Abby. We got a full house. We got Guy. We got Sean. And before we get started, Guy, are you feeling better? You look better.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling a lot better. Thank you guys for holding it down last week.
I know there's a lot of stuff going around, like flu, like my grandmother, my nana had COVID a couple weeks ago. It's just crazy.
Damn.
And then allergy season. You should see all the pollen in the air. It's ridiculous right now. And Sean, how are you?
I'm good. Just hanging out, getting harassed by my dog currently. So, you know.
Well, I want to finish this pickle discussion really quickly before we actually get kicked off before we actually kick off the show. Okay, so you asked us if we like pickles.
Yes.
I said yes. Guy?
Yeah, they're all right.
Oh, boo.
I've been on this. Y'all seen those trending ones that like they hand out like on the videos and stuff? There's some at Costco's. I gotta look them up. Hold on. Actually, let me go grab them from my fridge. Give me a second. I'm gonna go grab them.
Oh my God, this is hilarious. The dog wants one. Look at his dog all excited. Guy, how come you don't like pickles? Think they have a weird taste?
Nah, they're all right. I mean, they're the kind of like vinegary. And
Yeah.
I like vinegar, and I like cucumbers.
Yeah.
But I like the spicy ones, actually.
Oh, yeah. Those ones are really good. Okay, let's see. Oh, yeah, I have seen those. Those are really good.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know. These were like trending. So, me and my fiance went to, I was telling her, I was like, have you seen these before? And she's like, yeah, they sell them at Costco. And I'm like, sell them at Costco? I was like, we got to make a Costco run anyways. Let's go to Costco tomorrow. We go to Costco and we get them. I've been on a pickle kick.
Those?
Huh?
How much are those?
I don't know, like $8 or something. But like this shit is, I'm a big, like I'm not a small guy. Like these are fucking large. You know what I'm saying? Like this is 52 fluid ounces. This thing. Like I don't know. And the thing was full of pickles.
You've eaten most of them, I'm sure. Probably like 2 or 3 a day.
And it got grape leaves in it. No, more than that. I'm gonna eat one right now. Actually, hold on.
We need to hear the crunch. Give us some ASMR real quick. We got a taste test going on.
I don't know if you can really hear, but
let's see. Yo, it has really good crunch. If you ate that on ASMR for like an hour, people would watch.
And look, I don't know if you can see, but it's got like the dill pickle, like the actual seasoning on them.
Yeah.
And it's got grape leaves in there. Anyways,
those look really good. I've had them before. So I just haven't bought them because I'll eat pickles. I eat like the baby pickles a lot too, and I make little charcuterie board and whatnot.
I'll go through a whole jar. Bread and butter. Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Well, we got Skylar already in the building. He's ready, and he's ready for Arizona versus UConn. And your pup's ready too, Sean.
Guest appearance, pickles and dogs.
Hell yeah. All righty. Well, okay, first of all, let me start off by saying we have a winner of the tickets, but we're not going to announce it until after we've talked about March Madness. So you will have to stay tuned, but we do have a winner. So keep watching. It'll come. I'll probably throw it out randomly. Watch. All right. Drin, can you pull up the bracket? The lovely bracket. All righty. Let's go back to let's start with the East. Save the best for last. All righty. Guy, I'm going to start with you simply because you're in the St. John's type of area. Any overall thoughts on that Duke St. John's game?
It was just St. John's didn't have the shooting to win that game, even though they really played their hearts out. And I knew that if they had trouble with St. John's, that UConn was right for them, even though they had to, have a Herculean effort to make a comeback. But a lot of times the Big East is slept on, but that style of play plays well in the tournament. Physical, in-your-face defense. This is, basically what UConn is and what St. John's kind of was without the shooting. If St. John's had any resemblance of consistent outside shooting, they could have very well been in the Final Four also. But shout out to Rick Pitino for getting the most of his guys. But yeah, Duke kind of looked young and played a little young to me. They had talent, but you also kind of need experience when you get deep in March Madness.
Yeah. Sean, overall thoughts about that Duke St. John's game, or even you want to head into Michigan State and UConn?
Yeah, I thought Duke played gritty, and ironically enough, to what Guy said, I actually thought Duke played older than they seemed. They never seemed phased if they were behind in any game throughout the tournament. Obviously, the experience will come into the next game that we talk about. We'll get into that, but I thought Duke, they look good. Isaiah Evans came back and put up like 25 points on really efficient shooting. He helped Duke out a ton. Cameron Boozer doing Cameron Boozer things on the court. St. John's just a very good defensive team, and I feel like if you're a good defensive team and your shots really aren't falling comparative, like now I'm looking, actually, I say that, St. John's shot 45% from the field and 41% from three, and you still lose. That's kind of tough considering you're a defensive team as well, right? But I don't know. Happy for St. John's. They made it this far, but they ran into the juggernaut that was Duke at the time.
Yeah. And I echo everything you guys both said. I agree with what you said, Sean, in terms of Duke. They played more with, like, I think more maturely than I had seen that game. And you guys both pointed it out. Sometimes they just looked completely unfazed. Like, it started all the way back in the Siena game with the first round. It was going back and forth. Siena looked like they were getting the better of them, and then just, like I said, put their head down and grinded it out. I don't know about you guys, but I was very disappointed by the Michigan State UConn game. I think, I mean, Tom Izzo, he speaks for himself with all his accolades there, but I didn't think it was going to be. At some points, it got really bad, and it was almost unwatchable. It was similar to the Iowa State game as well. I don't know if you guys had any thoughts. Sean, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, the final score is like a 4-point game, but that game was really never a 4-point game. UConn was just the better team all around. I think they were up by like 24 or something at one point. Not that much, but they were up a ridiculous amount. Like, I looked in and I was like, oh, the game's just over. And I kind of didn't tune into the rest of the game because it was just one of those games where like, it's not going to be interesting. And maybe it got a little interesting at the end, but that final score was not indicative of how that game actually went.
Yeah, it looked like they were always playing from behind. That's how it looked. Guy, anything to add?
Yeah, it's just, UConn being UConn. This is who they are. They're battle tested, and having the way in which they beat Michigan State boded well going into that Duke game, because Coach Izzo always has his teams prepared usually. But yeah, UConn was just a more talented team, and I don't know if Michigan State would have won in any circumstance that game. UConn was just ready from jump.
Yeah. Now, personally, did you guys have UConn coming out of this bracket and heading to the Final Four? Guy, you did? Sean?
Yep.
Yeah, I certainly picked UConn over Furman, UCLA, and Michigan State personally. So this is the obvious outcome.
You were a Furman lover. Don't lie.
No, I wasn't. Like, don't go back in the podcast either. I don't want to hear it. No,
I'm going to literally clip that.
I wanted to say, though, I thought it was kind of fun. I had Duke winning this bracket, and I think I had Duke winning the 90,
I did
quite
too.
frankly. I don't think anybody had UConn. I think everyone was talking down on UConn this. I mean, minus Guy, but I'm like, everyone was like, the general consensus was like UConn is not going to go anywhere in this tournament. And it's kind of weird to me, like, looking back on it, because UConn is a battle-tested, battle-worn team, very highly coached. They make it far almost in the bracket every year. They've won twice in like the last 5 years, haven't they? Or last 6 years or something?
Yeah, they won in 2023 and 2024.
So,
and
like,
they've made it to this Final Four, I think, last 3 out of 5 times or 4 out of 5 times, something like that.
Yeah, so I guess, like, looking back on it, like, I joked about the Furman thing, but, like, I think I should have considered them a little bit more. I think everyone had that bad taste of just getting their asses beat by St. John's right before the tournament started. But, I mean, they look Granted, I'm going to be honest. I mean, we could just hop into it. I don't think they should be in the Final Four. I think Duke completely blundered that game away. I have no idea what that last play was. I mean, you got 9 seconds left. Take the free throws and make them make a shot. They made a shot, obviously, but like, good Lord, that was the sloppiest end of the game I have seen in such a vital game ever.
Well, and let's be honest, they were down pretty bad, and I started to even check out of the game because I was like, all right, Duke's got this kind of in the bag. Then it hit that 6-minute mark. Yeah, and then that 6-minute mark hit in the second half, and I was like, okay, let me sit up for a second and see what happens here. Guy, I know you're probably a little excited for UConn. Your overall thoughts on the end of that game? I mean, you know what? I had Duke coming out of this bracket, I'll say, but it's always a good day when Duke loses. I can't stand Duke.
Yeah, no, I thought and this is why I said that the youth of Duke would come out and show itself, the lack of experience, because you didn't need to make that pass. You know, you're trying to break a press, let them foul you. You're up already. You know, all you got to do is knock down free throws. And that's what I'm saying. The experience showed from UConn. When you don't have that big game experience, you're prone to making mistakes. And this is why UConn has had in the recent history of, you know, the NCAA, they've won twice, been in the Final Four 3 or 4 times, whatever it is. Like, they are showing themselves to be the class of college basketball, at least in the last 5 years. And yeah, just to show their grit and come back, it shows who they are and that they're never out of a game. Does a little luck get involved? Yeah, but that's March Madness for you. Kid Mullins knocked down a crazy shot.
I knew it was going in as soon as it left his hands. And they didn't shoot well from the 3-point line in the first half. They were horrendous. Like, I think 3 for 18 or something ridiculous. They were they shot really bad.
Game. They're 5 for 23 for the whole game. Like, they didn't do anything different in the second half except make mid-range and twos. Like, they were. If you go look at the stats of this game, there is absolutely no way UConn should have even been in this game, quite frankly. Mm-hmm. It's impressive enough that they won, let alone the fact, like, if you go, like, they're 28 for 64 from the field. They shot the ball 18 or 16 more times than Duke did. Like, it is really, really impressive. And, you know, to me, again, like I said, that was such a sloppy last pass. Like, even if they're not trying to foul you in that situation, if you just hold the ball, you don't need to break the press. You have 10 seconds to advance it anyways. There's only 9 seconds left in the game. You can play that in the backcourt regardless. They're going to have to foul you. I mean, worst case scenario, you make both free throws, and that's a tie game if they make a crazy-ass shot.
Right.
It's just – no, not even a tie game. They win. I'm sorry. They would have won if they made both free throws, right? Because it would have been 73-74. Yeah, so, I mean, very disappointing. And I actually watched the whole game, and I have not been disappointed watching a game in such a long time.
I know. I was checking in on, like, my friend kind of towards the end, and I was like, are you starting to get nervous? They're like, he's like, what the fuck is this? I can't believe this. I'm sick. And then that end, I didn't even say anything. I left all, like, first of all, like I said, I hate Duke. I hate all Duke fans because I really feel like they've been overly obnoxious. They're overly obnoxious all the time, but this time of year they get overly obnoxious, and I've heard it from them all season long. And to finally have them sit down and, I'm sorry, shut the F up was just, I think, so rewarding. And to lose that in that fashion was even more hysterical. But I mean, it was a great game. That is why you love March Madness, because those type of things happen. And Guy, to kind of your point I was saying to Guy's point with UConn, the one thing that they do have on their side is experience, and it comes from not only just Danny Hurley, but obviously their players as well. They have two very, very good seniors in Caravan and Terrace Reed Jr. So
there's a reason Hurley's making the money he is, and there's a reason they were talking about him being the Lakers head coach possibly and stuff. Like, Guy is just uber. It's funny actually because the year, was it 2 years ago now at this point, when Hurley was going to sign with the Lakers possibly, he actually was sitting in Boathouse, like the restaurant I used to work at, and like everybody works at on YouTube on here, at one of the tables, like with his brother, and they were discussing like the options and stuff. It was kind of cool, when all that process was going on. He's just sitting in the same restaurant I'm in. I was like, holy cow.
Yeah. Well, UConn punched their ticket to the Final Four, so we will go down to that should be the South with Illinois, Dren. There we go. All right. Where do you want to start, Guy? Do you want to start? Do you want to talk about Illinois, Houston, Nebraska, Iowa?
Let me do Illinois, Houston, because
go ahead.
I think a lot of people kind of overlooked Illinois. Being a big physical team that they are, a lot wasn't really made of the Big Ten conference and how well represented they've been, at least in the Sweet 16, Elite Eight. I think Illinois is an efficient team. They have these guys from the Balkans, Peja Stojakovic's son, and all these other guys that just play the game the right way. And, they took it to Houston. Like, Houston was basically playing a home game, and Illinois said, I don't give a damn, and just, laid the smackdown on them. And Houston's a hell of a team, well coached, and that's why I'm saying, like, Illinois, kind of was overlooked in this bracket, rightfully so. Florida, prohibitive favorites, they get knocked out early, and then Houston kind of like, all right, we have the regional final in our home, so I don't think Illinois was given that much of a chance. But again, Big Ten, you're battle tested. There's a way that they play, a style that they play is physical, and it's a grind. So like, if they're able to impose their will, which they did in this game, it's very hard for anybody to beat them. And they played pretty well all season, and I'm happy to see them actually prove some people wrong.
Yeah, that Houston game for me, of course, I was naturally going for all the Big 12 teams. It was very disappointing because, again, like you said, home court advantage. And Illinois, I feel like a lot of the reason they were overlooked a little bit coming into the tournament was because they had some tough losses right before the tournament. They were a little bit shaky there. But they obviously pulled it right back together. And again, that Balkan power they got going on over there is crazy. They're one of the tallest teams in the country. It's like 6'9", 7'1", 7'1", and then you got the twins. You got the twins over there, Merkovich as well. I was struggling with pronunciating all of their names. It was like Merkovich, Stojakovic, and the other Ivisic. I can barely pronounce Luca's name correct. Doncic. It's not my strong suit there. Sean, you want to talk about any of these games here?
I've talked Illinois up, and I've talked Keaton Wagler up multiple times, so I'm happy for him. I kind of got sucked into agreeing on Houston by some fans around here. But no, I like Illinois as a team. Like you said, though, like, they kind of had some tough losses coming into the tournament. Same thing with UConn, right? They had a tough loss right before they came into the tournament. Michigan, tough loss before they came into the tournament. A lot of these teams that had tough losses, look where they are, Final Four. Illinois just plays really, really good, like, structured basketball, I feel like. And, I mean, Keaton Wagler is a top. If they beat UConn, or not UConn, they play Michigan. No, they play UConn, right? Sorry.
Yeah.
If they beat UConn and Wagler is a big part of that, do not be surprised to see him creep into like the top 4 of this draft, because what he does on and off the ball, and he had like a bad game, but I mean, for a guard, like the way he rebounds, like he's like a 6'6" guard. Like he's just always on the boards. He's like a bigger version, not as proficient of a passer as Westbrook is, but he like reminds me of Westbrook the way he's like just always grabbing boards and stuff. I don't know. I think it's cool. His big knack is he doesn't really play defense though. He's not like a great defender, so we'll see. But I mean, It's cool to see Illinois come through.
Yeah,
It's
and it was
cool
their
to see
first time,
not like the favorite come out of this bracket.
right? And it's their first time being in the Final Four since 2005. So again, you gotta like that. I love seeing different teams.
It would have been cool to see
represented.
Iowa come out here though too. Like Iowa
Right.
plays really tough, hard knock, like in your face basketball. And I'm not to discredit them. Like they beat the brakes off Nebraska again. That was one of those games where that score did not indicate, kind of how that game went, the flow of that game. And they beat Florida again. We talked about it last week, but they beat Florida in a game where this was a 1-point game, but the refs were kind of trying to give Florida that game. It felt like at the end, and Iowa knuckled down, and then they came out and beat Nebraska, and they fell short to Illinois. But shout out to Iowa being a 9 seed, making it all the way to the Elite Eight. Good for them.
Yeah. All right. Before we move to the other side of the bracket, we got an Illinois UConn matchup. Sean, who you got winning this game? Just this side.
I think UConn. I would love to see Illinois win. I just think this is the point of the tournament where that coaching and that experience and quite frankly, the depth. I think like Illinois runs like 6 or 7 man rotation. Whereas if I'm not mistaken, UConn runs like 8 or 9 players. Yeah, UConn runs like 9 players.
They have a lot of depth,
it's like a big deal this late in the tournament and all these, they've had a little bit of a break throughout the week, but it's just so far into the season. Like being able to, like we saw what happened to Siena, right? Siena could have easily beat Duke if they played a bench, I think, in my opinion, but they didn't. And obviously the comparisons aren't there, but the minutes are there, if you get what I'm saying. So I just like UConn, the coaching, the depth, all around.
Guy?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this is where it kind of separates that tournament experience, the big game experience, not just for the players, but for the coaches as well. Like I trust Hurley, and I think that's going to be the biggest difference. If this game is close, I have to lean towards UConn to execute.
What's the spread on this game? I didn't take a look yet.
Give me a second. I'll tell you.
Sean can probably pull it up quicker.
1.5. So
in favor of who?
Illinois, actually.
Oy.
Opened at 2.5 favorites for Illinois, which is definitely interesting.
Well, maybe because they're probably closer to home or something.
I mean, it's 60-40 matchup predictor. I mean, that's a pretty big difference. I don't know.
I would love for Illinois to come out on top, but obviously I'm beat out by you guys with the UConn. So, all right, let's shift over to the Midwest. Michigan just dominated this freaking region.
I will say though, like Michigan could have lost to Alabama. Michigan turned it on in the second half. Bama put up like 50 points or something in the first half of that game. Like they were hooping, and they just got gassed out.
Yeah, Iowa State was definitely disappointing coming out of this bracket too, to be honest. Guy, any thoughts?
I just want to show like Tennessee some love. Like they made a pretty nice run, from the 6th seed. Obviously they met a buzzsaw in Michigan, but to beat Iowa State and Virginia and to go on that run, I don't think a lot of people had Tennessee kind of like creeping up, but over the last couple of years they actually shown their pedigree. I think they've made the Sweet 16 the last couple of years, and things can get overlooked, but I just want to show them love. Going to an Elite Eight is big for a school like that. Especially from the 6th seed, you had to beat some good teams to get there.
Right, and I agree. Anything else to add, Sean?
No, that Yaxil Linderborg kid is a fucking beast. I'll tell you.
I also fucking hate him too. I hate the way he talks. I hate the way he looks, but he is huge. Quite frankly, he is.
I actually didn't realize. I don't watch Michigan basketball a lot, but I didn't realize how high in the draft they had him too. Like they have him in the top 10.
Well, he's 6'9", and I'll be honest, he does it all. He can score, he rebounds, he's just very good in the interior right there.
Yeah, I went and looked at him, and he's just like a slightly bigger version of Boozer to me. Like him and Boozer almost profile the same, honestly. I think Boozer can shoot the three a little bit better than he can, but they both get boards. They both shoot the mid range. They both play. I don't know. It's very weird, like seeing both of them.
Yeah, him and what is that? Adai Mara, I think that's how you say his name. From Michigan. They're just two big dudes in the interior, and it's literally they're visibly much bigger than everyone. I mean, 6'9" and I think
like
7'1".
7'3" or 7'4", right?
Yeah,
He's
7'3". Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're also very tall. I know I said the same thing about Illinois, but Michigan's also very tall as well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we can go ahead and go up to that West region. Oh, we had Texas. Oh, I was so sad for them. I'm not gonna lie. All right, Guy. Any overall thoughts on this region here?
Yeah, similar to Tennessee, I thought Texas represented themselves very well. They were in the playing game, but history has shown that sometimes one of those teams in that first playing game can make a run, like VCU did about 15 years ago. Purdue had a hard time with them. Like it wasn't like they got dominated. Purdue was. They got the tip in at the end, great. But they kind of met their match with Arizona, and another Big Ten team deep in the tournament. Like I said, I thought that conference really represented themselves well. But once Arizona kind of showed who they were, I thought this was pretty straightforward for Arizona as a whole. They just had to kind of win their games.
Yeah. Didn't Purdue win the Big Ten?
Yeah,
they won the tournament. Yeah. Okay.
I think they beat the brakes off them too.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. Sean? Yeah,
I mean, shout out to Texas. We all wrote them off in the first round, and they beat every single team pretty much. They should have beat Purdue too. Honestly, that was a really close game, but I don't think it really mattered who won. I think we all kind of knew Arizona, especially Arizona they dominated Arkansas, who I thought was the only team in this whole side of the bracket that had a chance to even play close to them, and they put up 110 on Arkansas. So, you guys knocked out my favorite player in the tournament, so it is what it is. But
he still put 29 points. Boy's a baller.
Cuff, yeah, he put up 28.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, he had a good game, but Arizona just rocked Purdue. I mean, that game was never close either. That game was over at halftime, quite frankly. I mean, yeah.
Well, honestly, Arizona was scaring me at the half.
Arizona was down at halftime, but I knew it was over at halftime because anytime Arizona's down at halftime, they come out and they put up 15 points right when they come out at halftime. They're kind of Duke in a sense. They're very young, but they don't ever look out of the game. That 7-point lead for Purdue is not comfortable to me. The second I saw them come out, I think they scored 13 in a row or something like that.
Yeah, they went on a big run.
But they're consistent with that, and then they just didn't let their foot off the gas after that. 4 minutes out of the second half, the game was over to me.
Yeah. And the defense for Arizona really in the second half was vastly different. And then what's that one kid from Purdue's name? Smith? Is that his last name?
Who? What's his name? Braden Smith or whatever?
Yeah. He actually rolled his ankle during the game. And to be honest, he really didn't look the same after. I mean, he was still playing and he was still shooting up shots. But after that, it looked like it went really downhill, to be honest. But I mean, what is he going to do? Sit in the most important game of his career, essentially. So obviously, I'm very happy with how this bracket or this side of the region or this region turned out. So, I mean, you guys already know who I have coming out on top of Arizona and Michigan. It's a 1.5 spread right now. I think it's in Michigan's favor. But Guy, Michigan or Arizona?
I got Michigan in this game.
Of course you do. Of course you do. Said like a true Miami Dolphins fan. Go ahead. Losers. Losers love losers.
I just
Sean?
think that they've been playing really well. Not saying that Arizona has
That's
not.
exactly what you're saying. That's exactly what you're saying.
I don't know. I'm just saying Michigan.
What is it? Michigan and Arizona, statistically wise, are almost evenly matched. So what is it that gives Michigan the edge for you?
I like their size, and I think that they're a little more tested.
Get out the pickles.
Go ahead,
Their
guy.
size.
Yeah, I like their size. I don't think that Arizona's just gonna impose their will against Michigan, and I think they're a little more seasoned and experienced. Not to say Arizona is not good. It's going to be a close game, but I just think that Michigan is more built for this kind of a game.
Sean, how's your pickle lid?
Yeah, sorry. So good.
And you better watch your answer too.
I actually I have Arizona. Seriously, I think, in my opinion, I said it at the start of the tournament. The Midwest was the easiest side of the bracket. Nobody agreed with me. Sure enough, it was the easiest side of the bracket, right? Michigan hasn't had to play anybody. They played Howard, St. Louis, Alabama, who lost their second leading scorer, and Tennessee, who they beat the brakes off of. That Tennessee-Virginia game was really weird. Iowa State did not look like Iowa State against Tennessee. I would have actually liked to have seen Michigan play. If Michigan beat Iowa State the way they beat Tennessee, I actually would have been more convinced of Michigan. I think this is the coolest matchup of the tournament out of any bracket matchup we could have got, simply because Arizona and Michigan been 1-2 pretty much all year. Then Duke comes in, but everyone was arguing who's better, Arizona, who's better, Michigan, trying to push the narrative. Michigan scores 100 points every game. They're a better team. And I think that, on the flip side, Arizona, you play Long Island, whatever, Utah State, whatever, but that Arkansas matchup was really tough. I thought Arkansas was a really good team. Purdue beat Michigan. You beat Purdue pretty convincingly. Now, the argument is did Michigan care about that game? Did it matter for them or not? You can argue that however you want. But I think that this, like you said, both of these teams match up really well. I'm just more impressed with the run that Arizona had through the bracket compared to what Michigan did. Yeah, they scored a lot of points in every game, but so did Arizona, right? Arizona beat every team convincingly as well. Just harder teams in my eyes.
Yeah. If I can go, I want to go ahead and get my rant out of the way now, because you already know I'm going to talk about Arizona, because this is the first time in 25 years they have made it back to the Final Four. It has been a very, very long journey. And I just can't say enough. I cried happy tears. I'm not going to lie. And I will cry when the Jets make the playoffs too. But this has been a long time coming. And I think too, a lot of people don't realize how close and tight knit the city of Tucson is. And U of A is that it makes up the whole identity of Tucson. And the fans, I love how Tommy Lloyd, when we won the West region, he instantly shouted out Lou Olson, whose legacy will always remain at Arizona. And then I also loved that the first thing he said was that these fans deserve it, because we really do. We didn't know how. I feel like I was a young kid, but we didn't know how good we had it back in the late 90s, early 2000s with Lou Olson. And I didn't think it was going to take this long to get back to this point. I mean, I was there when they were trying to get, the closest they've been is trying to get out the Elite Eight in 2014, 2015. It's just been a really long time. And, this team was not projected to be that good coming into the Big 12. Just starting out at the start of the season, they were projected to be 6th in the Big 12. And I'm just really excited. The one thing I will say, Michigan doesn't scare me. Michigan at all doesn't scare me. This is going to be, like I said, evenly matched teams. Michigan isn't a team that we haven't faced already. We already ran through a gauntlet of Big 12 teams and a gauntlet here. We've gotten over the hump. And I just think U of A will come out on top. I am so proud of the freshmen that we have. Holy shit. Koa Pete being MVP, Braden Burries. It's just, I want them to put it together. But this is very, very exciting. And like I said, 25 years in the making. And oh my God, it's incredible. And like I said, I had this one single Duke fan. Every single time I posted Arizona anything, tag me in his story and write that we had a Mickey Mouse schedule. He'd comment on everything. He DM'd me. And then I didn't say shit to him when Duke lost because I don't even give a fuck. Sorry, excuse my language. But the other day he messaged me and he told me, we get it. You can stop posting Arizona stuff, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, if you don't like this shit, get the fuck out of here. I literally cussed him out, and I think he's like a kid. I feel really bad. I don't know, but if you're gonna come at me like a grown ass man, you're gonna get talked to like a grown ass man. But like I said, having Duke fans finally shut up and sit down and take the L, especially after I heard all the shit from them all season, this feeling is just absolutely incredible. So we got an Arizona UConn matchup. Y'all already know who I'm taking. Let me see. Who do I want to start with? Guy, I'll start with you. Let's hear it. I'm taking Hurley and the experienced UConn Huskies. Nah.
That's right. And let's not forget that yes, the Big 12 was good, but also a lot of their teams disappointed in the tournament. And I would say that, there's nothing that UConn hasn't seen. So if they do play against Arizona, this is just another, when UConn is counted out or they're underdog, that's when they really rise to the occasion. And I think they would be chomping at the bit of whoever they play, whether it be Arizona or Michigan, to prove that they are the best. And I think they are. And this is not going to be easy, but none of these games are when it comes to this Final Four, So yeah, I would definitely go with the experience and toughness of UConn.
We already curb stomped one Hurley. What's another Hurley? Sean?
This is the real Hurley.
I just want to ask, so Guy, you think no matter what UConn wins, if it's Arizona or Michigan?
I think they would have a harder time with Michigan, to be honest with you.
Okay, fair enough. I think whoever wins the Arizona-Michigan game wins the title in my eyes. But I have Arizona. I don't think that's counting out UConn regardless because they're an uber-talented team and very, very well coached. I just think consistently Arizona and Michigan have been better teams this year. So whoever comes out – to me, the Arizona-Michigan side of the bracket is the same side of the bracket as – when Seattle and the Rams played, right? Like whoever won that game was winning the Super Bowl. It's kind of the same concept here to me. Except I just think UConn is significantly better than the New England Patriots. Cause if you're a Patriots fan, you're horrible and the Patriots are horrible. I just want to put that out there real fast. But I don't think UConn's going to get blown out in the title game. But UConn and Illinois are playing for the consolation prize here.
Yeah, and like we mentioned earlier, I feel like and my coworker told me this: the Arizona-Michigan matchup. I think whoever wins is the champion. And obviously, I know Arizona's got a tough road, but if it does happen to be Michigan, I would probably just go for Michigan at that point, unless it was Illinois. But I'm so tired of seeing UConn winning.
Now, if Illinois plays Arizona, I have Illinois.
Oh, now we're getting flip-floppy here with the semantics.
No, hey, look, OKC won the NBA title. Seattle won the Super Bowl. And my college basketball team, Arizona, is going to win the national championship. So I'm just going to have winners all around. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I think I said when the tournament started, I think I said Arizona clears all, and I literally stand 10 toes down on that. Arizona
and
clears
also,
all.
Everybody knows I'm a huge Indiana fan, too. So all of my teams won this year.
All righty. Well, those games are on Saturday, I believe.
Saturday,
and that, of course, they made the Michigan-Arizona one the primetime game, essentially. So we got Arizona as a champion. Sorry, Guy, you were outvoted. It's okay. We at some point in this draft.
Realities in the show that
I've been hearing that all season, too. I've heard it all.
I can't wait till next week.
I'll say right now, I won't be on the show if Arizona loses next week.
Oh
I will
no,
not
you
be
got to
on
be
the
10
show. I will
toes
skip
down. You
that
got to be
week.
Yeah, you
win,
gotta
lose, or
be
draw.
toes.
This is my show. We'll cancel. I had an arrangement come up.
Oh,
I
shoot.
literally might take off if they make the national championship game. I was like, I think I'm told work. I'm taking off Tuesday. I'm not seeing any of you, like whether they win or lose. And then I'll take off Wednesday too.
Oh yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and just get the winner of the tickets. What was it to the Orlando Magic and was it the Detroit
Pistons
game?
Yeah.
Yes, good seats. So let's do a little drum roll. The winner is at Wayne 1487. Again, at Wayne 1487. You are the winner of those tickets. They are great tickets, by the way. I'm actually very jealous.
Congrats.
I would go, and I'm not even a fan of either of those two teams.
Well, I'm going. I'm actually going to get the tickets from him. I told you what I'm doing. Whoever wins.
Oh, you're going to wait at the gate?
Oh yeah, I'm waiting at the gate.
Are they mobile tickets or paper ones?
Taking their phone either way.
You're like,
whatever they are.
But make sure you guys please like and subscribe to the Pop Sports Network on all the social media platforms, especially YouTube. But we are on Twitter there too, live streaming now. And we appreciate you joining us this evening. All right. Wait, there's one thing I want to go back to real quick with NCAA men's basketball. There's been a lot of rumors with Tommy Lloyd heading over to North Carolina. Sean, do you think obviously it's a good pickup if you're a winning coach, but you think there's any truth to those rumors?
No.
Or you think Tommy Lloyd should leave Arizona for UNC?
We had this conversation last week, and I'll stand by it again. Blue Bloods aren't Blue Bloods anymore with all of the NIL deals. Those schools, like the prestige that they had, they're still going to have the nameplate, but it's not the same like it used to be for recruiting and stuff. You can recruit whoever, however, whenever nowadays, doesn't matter what school you're at. Obviously, the higher up in the echelon you are, rankings and stuff, you're going to get a bit better recruits, but you built the team at Arizona. Why would you leave? I mean, you already have the pipelines now. North Carolina hasn't been like some successful, significantly great team, the last 5 years, 10 years, maybe even. I mean, I don't know how far back really want to go with that, but I don't understand. To me, if he leaves and goes there, it's the same thing. Do you remember when Scott Frost was at UCF many years UCF, and UCF was like possibly a national title contender, and then he left and went to Nebraska, and Nebraska was just dog shit because it was his alma mater in his hometown. I don't understand why coaches do that when you have built something successful and you built this pipeline and you built these players wanting to come to you. Why change it up? Like, you're being successful. Money isn't an issue. I don't understand it.
Guy?
I mean, North Carolina is North Carolina. Not everybody could say that they've coached UNC, like especially if they're looking to pay you top dollar to, be the coach of one of the top basketball programs in history. Why not? It's like I said, not many people get that privilege. So, from a basketball standpoint, yeah, you could build a program everywhere, but not everywhere is North Carolina. This is a dream job for a lot of college coaches. So, I'm talking about from Dean Smith to Roy Williams, to all those plethora of guys that became NBA stars coming out of UNC. So they still do carry some weight. And also to play Duke twice a year, that's the best rivalry in the sport. To be a part of that is special as well. So that might draw him also. But, if you have a good thing going, and you like where you're at, you're not obliged to leave, so.
Yeah.
But if the money's right, sometimes the money talks the loudest.
I know. I haven't said anything too much about the rumors because these came out, last week? They were circling around. And I felt like if they were playing a certain way, I would be a little more worried, but it truly feels like he has no distractions as of right now. And he's doubled down on the fact that his sole focus is Arizona basketball right now and these next two games and getting them a national championship. And I feel like if the rumors were true, I feel like his answers would be a lot different. And then, like I said, I just feel like the last game against Purdue would have gone a lot differently too, because teams, you can feel that energy. You can just like start to feel that shift in like the locker room, I feel like. But I don't know. I thought Tommy Lloyd was extended with U of A at least until 2027, 2028. But again, I think it's like an $11 million buyout. And another thing I want to add is he was with Gonzaga for a really long time. And before I'm sure he could have gotten hired elsewhere sooner, but he was very committed to them and then came to Arizona. And I think he's from Washington State as well. So again, you have that attraction of, again, that blue blood type of team, and it's every coach's dream, but it doesn't seem necessarily like that's in his MO, in my opinion. But we will see. But like I said, I just hope he's focused on the next two games. Okay. I've been wanting to talk to you guys about this the last couple of days because we got some very problematic people in the last few days. We got Tiger Woods, the drama. We got Puka drama as of today. And is it Jaden Ivey?
Yeah.
That drama going around. So I want to start with Puka just simply because that happened literally probably a couple hours ago. What? Sorry, shaking my head. Just, I get it. He's a kid. But obviously, he's now going to go into treatment per his attorneys. But he's been out of control lately. He's been wild. He's been wild. And now the NFL honors. I think, Sean, we talked about this. The NFL honors. He was out in the streets looking crazy. He was dancing at the actual awards. And then you had the biting incident and all of that. So, Guy, I see you laughing. What do you make of all of this?
I think he just needs to grow up some. He's still like a very young guy, and sometimes when you have that much success, that much money, that quick, you could start wilding out and losing control, especially if your inner circle doesn't hold you accountable, and they're just yes men. If you have a circle full of yes men, you got to drop some of them guys, man, and get yourself some real friends. I feel bad for him because he's very talented, and I don't want any of the shenanigans to like take away from his career or the growth that he can make in the NFL. He's already one of the best receivers in the game. We've seen countless guys kind of like spiral out of control, in recent history. I don't want him to be another statistic. And, whatever help he needs to get, man, get it. Because, you got to do it for yourself, for your family, for your legacy, for your team. A lot of people are invested in you, and you're part of a bigger community. And so I don't think he realizes that yet. So that's why I say he needs to grow up a little bit.
Yeah, and we talked about that LA type of lifestyle too. That's just kind of how it is in that city. Sean, do you think this affects contract negotiations or anything as far as an extension, things like that, money?
I don't think it does personally. I mean, my thing is if they really want to fix him, they can trade him to Seattle. They'll probably make him a better person and show him what it's like to be a good model citizen right next to JSN, who's, role model. That's someone he needs in his life. So have him come on over. I know he's not the best player in the world, but we'll take him and we'll use him as needed. But in all seriousness, again, we talked about this last week as well. It's been like this string of, it was the going on the live stream and saying the stuff or doing the stuff. And then, it was the NASCAR race or the F1 race that he was at. He just looked out of it. And then the awards. And, it's just he hasn't had any good press. And, just like Guy said, it's his circle. He needs new friends. He needs better friends. He needs people that actually care about him as a person. not about the fame and the money and stuff. He's young and he's talented, uber talented. And, even though he plays for the Rams, I don't want to see him spiral out of control and turn into an Antonio Brown. And I'm going to be honest, it's looking that way. And he's way younger than Antonio Brown was to start all this shit. Yeah, he doesn't believe in CTE. He doesn't believe in this. Like, someone in the LA camp needs to say, hey, shut the fuck up. Like, put a muzzle on him and tell him to shut the fuck up, and he can't go out of the facility for like 6 months. Like, it's just a little out of control at this point to me. And something needs to be done to like simmer him down.
Yeah. And you're right. He hasn't had good press in the last couple months, and it just keeps piling on and on and on. So honestly, this is probably like the best reset. And you don't need that type of like distraction coming in as you start draft is around the corner, but eventually it's going to be like training camp in the season. So let the dust set. It's enough time between now and the start of the season to let the dust kind of settle there.
If he wasn't like
as good as he
top
is,
receiver in the NFL, this would certainly affect contract negotiations. In my opinion, if he wasn't in that tier, like that AS tier, certainly this would be a huge issue. But he's Puka Nacua, proven commodity. I mean, guy's a monster. Like, it's not – he's still going to get $45, $46, $47 million a year. It doesn't matter.
The problem is he's also just like a likable guy outside of the stuff. If you don't watch it, I think if you don't watch him in those kind of streams, but
he's not a likable guy. I'm not saying that even because he plays for the Rams. He wasn't a likable guy before any of this started. He's had all his shit that he said and stuff before this. Again, the biggest thing for him is he just needs to learn to shut the fuck up. That's how he'll be likable. Just don't open your mouth. Like, I don't want to like compare, and this isn't me saying this because he plays for Seattle, but like JSN is like the perfect example of a superstar player that you want. He's a likable guy. Puka and JSN aren't. I mean, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but Puka and JSN are not in like the same stratosphere of like person that I'd want to be around.
JSN and Garrett Wilson aren't in the same stratosphere either.
Garrett
Wilson's a likable guy.
Even Justin Jefferson, likable guy. Like Jamar Chase was a complete idiot this year, but like he's not an unlikable guy. Jefferson's another one where like he's just a great guy. He runs all these camps, trains all these young kids. So yeah, I would not put Puka. Sorry, but I would not.
Maybe
put
you
Puka
shouldn't say he has the potential to be a likable guy. I think without all the drunken, I think without a lot of this, don't you think has happened? He clearly has a substance abuse problem here. That's probably what's been causing all these antics over the last couple of months.
Like Tiger Woods, maybe him and Tiger Woods have been hanging out.
But yeah, probably. They're probably going to the same facility right now. Let's get into Tiger Woods.
He's probably in rehab because he was in Tiger's SUV that flipped. That's what happened.
Tiger, man, I have a soft spot in my heart for him because I used to play golf in high school, and he was just like he's one of the best to ever play golf.
A golfer.
I don't anymore, but I would love to.
You look like a golfer. I could see you just carrying a fucking putter around school.
I know I have like a reception coming up, and we're going to Topgolf, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to.
I love Top.
Crushed it.
Listen, I'm not good at golf, but I will literally get into Topgolf and I'll hit balls 250. I don't give a. I'm.
You're like hitting it over the fence.
What? Absolutely. I went to the Topgolf in Phoenix. They told me to not hit the ball as hard.
Did they really?
Yeah, because I was hitting it. Because
were you at the one in Scottsdale or the one in Glendale?
The one that has you'll know what I'm talking about. It's
by
the one
casino?
That has the net. No, and then it has the road right behind it. So if you hit a ball over,
that's Glendale.
Yeah,
that's Glendale by like the stadium.
Yes, and they were like, you have to stop hitting it so hard. I'm like, I'm just sitting there wailing. It sounds like a fucking firecrackers coming off my. I don't give. I'm out there, 4 beers deep, cranking balls. I don't give a shit.
Happy Gilmore style.
100%. Fucking drivers going 250 yards too. It don't matter to me.
No, and that freeway is like the 101, and that's like it's like driving Mad Max on there. That's the speed limit on that freeway, 101.
Man,
beyond.
The first time my best friend picked me up and we were driving back to his house, I'm like, dude, you're going 110. He's like, that's normal. I'm like,
move out the way if you're not going that.
Like your car's shaking. What do you mean? This is normal. Like, don't worry about it.
Literally, I swear it's the heat. Like someone made a joke that the speed limit is the heat for that day. So if it's like 101, 110,
That
whatever.
sounds about Florida too, honestly. Like it's the same thing over here.
Guy, what do you think about Tiger Woods?
I mean, one of the greatest golfers ever, yes, but man, this is just another off the field kind of thing where it's like, what's going on, man? Like, I don't know if I expected him to be smarter with like life decisions, but like, if you're, and he said that it was his phone, that he was distracted. But
did you see his eyes in the mugshot?
Yeah, that you look crazy.
Bro looked like he hit the papaya. Like he looked off the wall. I was like, bro, I know that look. Don't even.
Yeah, and if you're doing stuff like that, or what are you doing getting behind a wheel?
Here's my thing, right? Not to cut you off, and I'm sure you'll agree. He's worth how much money? Fucking hire a driver for $200K a year.
Seriously,
he doesn't even need to be entering a vehicle in the front seat ever in his life. 100%. Like he doesn't. He really doesn't. He can afford a fucking Uber if he needed it. Like that's the one thing I don't understand about rich people. I'm sorry, the NFL players, everybody, they have so much money. You could go hire. I would drive their car for them for $75K a year. I don't care. I would do it. Like
I would do it for like just $30 an hour, or like $20 an hour. What you talking about in this economy?
Yes, you could find anybody to literally drive your vehicle for you and never be in the media. It doesn't. Anytime I see a public figure in the media for DUI, anything, I'm like, why? Why are you getting in your vehicle at all, inebriated in any way, shape, or form? It'll never make sense to me.
That just happened to Dylan Brooks here in Phoenix too, a DUI. And like, we're one of the no nonsense type of estates, to be really honest, like zero, what is it? Zero tolerance. Is that what they say?
Yeah. And I wasn't trying to cut you off, guy, but like that, it just doesn't make sense to me with how much money these guys have. The fact that they're in any way, shape, or form inebriated under any substance. You could go snort coke lines in the back of your car with your driver. I don't care. At least you're not behind the wheel. Like it, I don't get it. I really don't get it.
Well, that's why I was questioning like his life decisions. I thought he would be smarter than that. It's for damn sure. Money doesn't make you smarter. Because he definitely has shown this pattern before. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if he doesn't want to hire a driver because he's doing some, messed up stuff.
They sign NDAs. It doesn't matter at that point. He's literally, the driver will be under NDA. Like,
well, but there's guilt also, like if there's somebody in the same room or.
Yeah, but he's got a fucking kid who's on his way to stardom too. This is not setting a good example for him. His kid is one of the top golfers in the country as well. Like, what is this doing? And this isn't the first or second time that we've had Tiger. We had Tiger roll his fucking vehicle while he's cheating on his wife. Like, I mean, quite frankly, this is not the first, second, or third. This is a pattern and a habit now. And even if he's embarrassed, this is more embarrassing for his family and for his son, who's coming into the limelight now, who's going to be a big name. It's embarrassing for the Woods name. Like, and I understand where you're coming from, but like that's not an excuse that should be passable ever or even be like made up for him, because all of this is more embarrassing than one person knowing what you're doing because they're your driver. That to me, it's ridiculous and it's not acceptable at all. Like, you're a grown fucking man taking vehicles out, and this is what, the fifth or sixth time he's been in the news. It's sad because he's one of the most distinguished and recognizable and prolific athletes in the world. And he has done nothing but tarnish his reputation over the last 10 to 15 years, done nothing but tarnish it. And he had that great comeback where he won the Masters or almost won the Masters or whatever it was. And like I thought, oh, he's turned a corner, and it's just been something every few years pops up in the news with him.
It's like right when he's about to come back, because he actually was going to come back in I think he came back in February, because he's had several just back
all
issues.
those surgeries and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
and and I wouldn't put it past that. There is some type of addiction to those meds that they give you.
There's
And
certainly some type of
that's why
there's no ifs and or buts.
Yeah, and it sucks because I will always kind of root for him. It hasn't gone his way since that whole thing happened with his wife and all the scandal and his family got torn apart. It's been right when he's about to be up. Yeah, and it's like we'll hear nothing about him. And then he'll be back up, we'll hear a good thing, and then right back down to rock bottom. And it's actually just so very sad to see. And especially too, because you have his legacy, who is that good, that we are going to see in the future, and in my head, I'm like, don't you want to be that figure for him? And so for me, all I can hope is that he gets the help that he needs. I really would, I always root for his comeback. But again, you're getting so far out of golf now. It's just beyond golf as an issue at this point. Guy, it looks like you want to finish up saying.
Yeah, I was just going to say, who, if anybody, whether it be in his circle, in his corner, somebody has to make him accountable. And I don't think he's taking accountability genuinely or really want to turn the corner. Because you like Sean said, you have a son coming up the ranks. You have other things going on. And look, everybody makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect on this earth.
We've all made mistakes on this call. We're not casting a stone. It's just we're not in the media spotlight like that either.
Right. And how many times are we going to see the same kind of thing happen? He's quite frankly, he's lucky to still be alive, right?
And that's the other thing too, right? All these accidents, he could have killed somebody.
Yeah.
They're not casual accidents. His fucking car is upside down. It's not like he just hit a pole. He flipped his whole vehicle.
100%. And that's what I'm saying. It's a very selfish kind of a way to go about living.
Is what it is.
It's right. And that's what I'm saying, that the lack of accountability is alarming. And I hate to say it because I've seen it happen before. Sometimes it's tragic things have to happen for you to wake the hell up. And I hope it doesn't come to that. But Tiger, you need to wake the hell up, bro.
Yeah, he needs to. You can't help people who don't want to help themselves. He's got to want to help himself first. Unfortunately, it's funny how it's not funny, but we're talking about Puka and Tiger in very different type of manners. I think because we know Tiger has the ability to be good, but it's unfortunate. I don't want to get too much into the nitty gritty of it, but I did want to ask your guys' opinion on what's going on with Jaden Ivey. I don't really want to get into verbatim what he has been saying and what's been said on his end. Guy, just any overall generalized thoughts about the situation. I want to tread lightly here because he's made some comments that will hurt certain communities. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, also, anybody's free to feel and say whatever they want. I don't want to take that right away from people. Also, you also have to be mindful what you say and how you say it. Do I think he deserved to be cut from the team? No, because I think he is a serviceable NBA player. And I think other people have had chances quick, they didn't get cut for worse things. Mm-hmm. So I understand also the business side of it, and that's pretty much the NBA's stance. They were trying to protect their assets. They're trying to protect their investments. I don't know here or there if they really even give a damn about, people's feelings or whatever. I think it's more of a money thing and trying to save face in the public eye. But, everybody's entitled to their opinion. You know what I'm saying? And however way you disagree or agree with what somebody says, people do have the right to say what they want. Um, that is part of the First Amendment rights that we have. But again, that doesn't absolve you from consequences of what you say, and you always have to be mindful of what you say and how you say it. And I
Yeah.
don't know if sometimes uh, people are very emotionally led, and I think sometimes they let the emotions get the best of them. Um, I don't know what he's going through in his personal life either to make him, say or do things to the effect that he did them. But you know, I don't want him to not make money. You know what I'm saying? I don't want him to not be able to provide, and I for himself or his family. And I hope he doesn't get blackballed.
Mhm.
Because I've seen how that could affect people. But let's see what happens.
Sean, I want to get your opinion on this, but really quickly, your dog in the back did like a big stretch.
Yeah, that's her
Of
down.
like the,
So my fiance just started doing Pilates, and now she does downward dog.
yeah, and I
That's
was like,
her. Yeah,
big stretch
yeah. She loves
in
it.
my
I'll
head.
scratch her butt usually when I'm behind her, and she'll like drag her legs forward. Yeah, I love her.
Sean, your overall thoughts on the whole situation?
That guy's racist as fuck. That's all I know. I don't know. Guy is a kind-hearted person. Get him the fuck out of the league. Get him. He needs to be gone. He's doubled down, tripled down. I mean, you can't say the kind of shit he's saying. I'm sorry, you can't. You got Travion might have fucked himself too. I mean, he's saying shit, posting. Again, freedom of speech. Say whatever you want. There are consequences for your actions. If I went into work and said some of the shit that they say, I'm probably getting fired, right? Like that's just the reality of it. You can't say certain things, especially in the day and age that we're in. Look what happened. I forgot who said it or what was said a couple years ago. But remember when someone in the NBA said the shit about China and that was a huge thing? Like you can't there's some stuff you can't say with the gravity of what's going on in the world. And I mean, he's just said some like outlandishly racist shit, and you can't do that. I mean, you can't. Um, I'm not going to get into stuff he said. We don't need to get into it on the show, but he needs some serious mental help. He found God, good for him, but he's taken it to an extreme. Apparently, he told the team that God told him his knee was good and he can play basketball. And the next day, they shut him down for the season after they did x-rays and imaging on him. He's just not in a good mental spot. I pray that he gets help, and I pray that when he does get help, he can come back to the league. But as long as he's saying the stuff he's saying right now, like keep him as far away as you can. Someone needs to cancel his internet and cancel his service providers. Take his phone away and probably send him to a mental asylum for a couple months. And maybe he needs the pills that Tiger's on so he can figure his shit out because he is so far. I mean, Puka's bad and Tiger's bad, and he is just really bad. Like he's Antonio Brown levels of bad is where he's gotten to within like 3 months. It's really impressive.
I mean, it's just for me, it's a little just crazy that people just hop on live and talk like that. I would never think in a million years to ever do that. If I want to have a conversation, I'll go have it with someone in private or honestly start journaling, because I get it. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world.
And here's the thing, right? Not to cut you off. I'm cutting a lot of people
you're
off today.
fine.
I'm sorry. Just these thoughts in my head. Like Guy said, like we all have opinions and we all like feel like the way we do. And I'm sure like all of us, anyone listening, everybody, like we have opinions that maybe other people won't agree with or they're controversial. But most of us aren't dumb enough to just turn on Facebook Live or turn on Twitter or whatever it is and just air our shit out, right? Like if we have opinions, we have people we're close to, we'll talk to them about it, right? Not everyone you know what the beautiful thing about living in America is that not everyone has to agree with you and all of us can have opinions and everybody can feel the way they feel and talk the way they want. But when you do that so publicly, you open yourself up to like I can't even think of the word scrutiny. There you go. Thank you. That's the exact word I was looking for. Like scrutiny and people that dissect your words. And that's what you allow people to do at that point. Now, when you are smart enough to talk to people in private and maybe someone tells you, hey, you're actually an idiot in private, and like tell you why, or you could tell them why you feel the way you do, that's your personal conversations. But once you put it to the public, especially in the technology day and age we're in, that's a whole different can of worms.
It's on the internet forever, unfortunately. It is on. It's never going anywhere, and that's just the world that we live in. But yeah, you're right. I liked what you said there, Sean. And you know what? Sometimes when you talk to people, you get different perspectives, like how we're doing right now. We're getting all three different perspectives. The one thing I will also point out is just what professional sports sometimes picks and chooses as to what you're out of the league. Oh, but you can go and beat your wife. Oh, but you're fine. We'll let you come back. There's no level of consistency, and I don't like it. I don't know how you go about necessarily fixing that, but like that doesn't help either. And that's I know I'm not the first person saying this. This has been an argument for ages, but you have someone like, again, this is NFL, but like a Tyreek Hill. There's video footage of him verbally and physically assaulting the mother of his children and her mother too. And then you have video footage of this person not necessarily physically harming someone, but maybe doing some emotional damage. So what's the difference? And I guess where do you draw the boundary line? I get it. And maybe NBA and NFL have two different standards. I really don't think they do, because they're both equally held in the same standard for fans, to be honest. Here in the States. So that's just another thing I was kind of considering when this whole thing came up. And then Sean, you're right. Like I said, it's like, what is it? I think Arizona, for example, is like an at-will state. Like,
at will.
So it's like, so they have the right to fire me at any point in time as well for saying something they don't like or anything like that.
Yeah, like the problem is, and like I'm not gonna play devil's advocate. Everyone's a piece of shit if you're a piece of shit. I think the biggest problem is that, like, you know, let's just be realistic. When someone beats their wife, it doesn't hurt brand deals and it doesn't hurt marketing, right? To be frank, when you say fuck the Jews, you lose all of your brand deals and you cause serious issues. You can't do that. Like, that's not a stance and an opinion that you're allowed to have publicly, considering all of the sponsorships and owners of these companies and stuff. Like, people don't want that as their image. It doesn't matter if it's one player or 100 players. That one player that does it, the second that you start being vocal like that and being opinionated and fucking with brand deals, you're out of the league. They don't want you around. They don't need you around. There's 100 other players that can come take your position. Doesn't matter how serviceable you are. If this was Steph Curry, LeBron James, any of these guys saying this shit, they would be out of the league too. There's not exceptions for being vulgar and hateful. And you can't be like that. Like I said, especially with the stuff going on all over the world, you just can't do it. And the second that you start fucking with their money, like the NBA's money, the NFL's money, it doesn't matter if Jaden Ivey's a NFL player, an MLB player, or an NBA player, he would have been out of the league regardless, saying the stuff that he's saying. And it's fucked up. But, like, you know, in a court of law, if Henry Ruggs has a chance to come back and play in the NFL, he murdered somebody. They're talking about having him come back to the NFL. At the end of the day, he didn't hurt the NFL's brand image with what he did. He just hurt his own image. You know, Ray Rice beat the shit out of his wife. He ended up being out of the NFL, but, like, they don't care about that kind of stuff because you're only hurting yourself, not the entire corporation. And it's fucked up, but that's just the reality of how big business is.
Yeah, and Guy, you were the first to point that out. It all comes down to money. All comes down to money.
That's what talks the loudest here.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm not condoning any of it, by the way. Like, I want to make that very clear. I think
I know
you're fucked up regardless of what you do. It's just unfortunately there's levels to business and levels to corporations that matter. You know, if I beat my wife, if I beat my fiance, well, she'd probably beat my ass, but I'm going to get fired from my job if I get arrested for that. Right. But, like, as a millionaire, like, you have the money and the resources to get around that. And if you're talented, and unfortunately, if you're uber talented, there's going to be a little more leeway for you in life. And that's just how life is, unfortunately. And if any of us said the kind of stuff that Jaden Ivey is saying, I think all three of us can agree that we'd be out of a job within an instant, right? And that's just how it
I'm
is.
out of a job, friends, and life. Literally, my friends would not like me very much.
100%. And that's the thing is like your friends might not like you if let's say you beat your boyfriend, right? And you went to jail for it. Your friends may not like you, but you'd still have some friends, right? Whereas if you said the kind of shit that he's saying, you wouldn't have any friends. You see how that goes though?
Yeah, don't let my man hear that because I actually will beat him. I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
no, I absolutely believe it. I absolutely believe it. Like I said, my fiance would whoop my ass too. So
if you see me yelling at him, he's exactly where he want to be.
If I see a flip flop flying in the background, I know what's going on.
Bro, no, off topic, but he literally irked me right before we got on. I asked him to put in the pizza because I have about 45 minutes from when I get 30 minutes before when I get home and I have to log in here. So I need stuff going. You know, you need to have the food ready. I'm hangry. I got to eat because we don't get off here till late. I hate eating late. He puts in the pizza. Well, he turns on the oven.
Doesn't put in the pizza.
The pan, there's, Hispanics with the pans in the ovens. He leaves a pan in there, so it smells like it's burning, okay? And then, yes, Sean does not put in the pizza. And he was like, well, why didn't you put it in? I'm like, well, I'm thinking it's preheating because I didn't hear it beep. I don't know when you turned it on. And so I made scrambled eggs for dinner with half of a bagel.
I know you were pissed the entire time that you were chopping the eggs up in there and giving him a dirty ass look the whole time. I know it too. I know
and then right before we got on, he's like, sorry. And then I just went reacted with a thumbs up.
Get ready to sleep on the couch tonight, idiot.
Literally, man.
It's time to learn Chinese.
It's just, gosh, it's a whole different story. All right. I want to get into some MLB news. Guy, I want to start with you because we missed you last week and we know you're very excited about the Mets. So how are you feeling thus far? Obviously, MLB season's it's a long season, is what I will say.
It's tough to, say how things are going just a weekend because things could change over the course of the season. But I'd say I am happy with the pitching, not so much with the hitting and runners in scoring position. When it comes to the Mets, the last series that we had against the Cardinals, and I think the last two games with the Pirates, we've been 1 for 29 runners in scoring position, and that's just unacceptable. And, getting Bo Bichette, who led the league with hitting and runners in scoring position, and Jorge Polanco, another really good hitter with runners in scoring position, I think that's going to correct itself throughout the year. I think these guys are just pressing and trying to make an impact in a big market. So they're kind of pressing and their timing is not right yet. But when the season goes on, I think, they're going to have the numbers that we're accustomed to seeing from Bo and Polanco and them.
Speaking of the Mets, I have some kind of exciting news. So I'm going to New York next month, like I told you. But the Mets are in town, so I think I'm going to go to a game, and I'm, uber excited. I've been to both Yankee stadiums, but Citi Field, I've just heard nothing but good things. And so I'm really excited, especially for the food. I'll tell you that much. The food,
4 years in a row, top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and my friend, he does food reviews. And so he'll try everything. So I'm watching what he's eating, and I'm like, I'm never going to have that, but it's good, to watch you chomp on, ribs or whatever you're eating. All right, Sean, how you feeling about your team?
The Mets lost today, and the Diamondbacks won. I'm just saying.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks got swept, and then they sweep, and then they're gonna get swept, and then they sweep.
Don't worry about the Mariners though. We lost.
I didn't even
mind your business. How about that?
Yeah, I didn't even watch.
The Yankees.
Honestly,
Aaron Judge pissing me off, by the way. That guy needs to figure it the fuck out. I drafted him in my league. I actually have two. So I remember I told you guys I don't think I'm going to do any baseball leagues this year.
Yeah.
I'm in two now all of a sudden. I'm in two. So I drafted really well. Love both of my teams, but Aaron Judge needs to figure it the fuck out. I don't know what the hell he's doing. Guy's swinging at like Helen Keller out there. Like,
I just pulled up his stats from today, and I was like, "Eey."
Pull up his stats. He's batting like 120.
Yeah, with how many strikeouts?
Yeah, 125.
And I have him in a league where you get -1 for strikeouts. So yeah, I drafted pitching super well. Like I took Sandy in both my leagues, and Sandy pitched a 9-inning shutout today. Fantastic, 93 pitches. But I will say, and I do want to point out, I had been talking up the Miami Marlins, and they are 5-1 currently. I know it's early in the season, but they're atop of the NL East, and they look good. And their two young studs are still down in the minors that they haven't called up yet, and Robbie Snelling and Thomas White. So shout out to them. Baseball.
You're trying to shout out. You're trying to shout out yourself, be for real. You're like, shout out to me for calling that early.
No. I would never do that. Never in my life. The Brewers are also 5-1. Houston Astros. Jordan has been on a torrid stretch to start the season. He's got like 4 or 5 home runs already, batting over 500. I mean, good for him. I drafted him last year, and of course he wants to piss the fucking bed. But this year he wants to turn into primetime Aaron Judge all of a sudden. Sure. But yeah, baseball's been fun to watch so far this year. I'm a little more invested because I'm in 2 leagues, obviously now. But
I don't know. Like I said, Diamondbacks got off to a weird start.
They're second in that division.
I know. Well, right now
teams in that division, but you know,
I know the Dodgers just looked like way too much though. When I watched the first game, and I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm turning it off. And then I keep up, and then most days I do. And then yesterday I kept up with the series too. Shout out to Jose Fernandez, by the way. 2 home runs in his debut. Yeah. That was very exciting to see. That I caught. I was very excited for that.
Yeah. Dodgers lost.
And one won us the game. Who they would lose to?
The Guardians. Their only 2 losses to the Guardians this year. Who J-Ram had started off the year dog shit. He hit a home run today.
I'm looking at
a lot of the star pitchers have not started the season off very strong, and a lot of like the young kids have come out and looked pretty solid to start the year, which is exciting to see. I want to see a year. It seems like right now there's been a lot of high scoring games so far this year, but like I want to see a year where like we see a lot of prospects and these young kids, like more Misirokis and Chase Burns come out and like pitch really well. Like I always love seeing that. I get kind of tired of seeing like the same names as aces. You know, I want to see someone new win like the Cy Young, like Skeens, obviously Skeens, but like we all know Skeens. Like I want to see like Bubba Chandler win it.
Yeah. Well, long season ahead. But one season that is kind of starting to wrap up is NBA. We got a few teams who already kind of are going to make the playoffs. I think the Lakers were the most recent as of yesterday, I want to say. Is it Lakers? Is it San Antonio, guys?
The entire Western Conference is done, by the way.
Oh.
Like, for the last 2 weeks.
I know, but I wait till it's like official, though.
Like all the play-in
Not over till it's over in my book.
Like the Warriors, I think it's the Warriors, Portland, and the Clippers are all locked into the play-in no matter what. And I think it's the Suns in Houston that are playing for the playoff spot. And there's like one other team, I don't know who it is. And I know like the Lakers. Minnesota, yeah. So like the Western Conference has been like those 10 teams have been decided for 2 weeks, which is crazy to think about. Like that's insane to me.
Good old Sun sticking around, getting my hopes up. Guy, you have to be feeling good about the Spurs, though.
Yeah, I am. I love how they play. You know,
I think they're playing right now, aren't they?
Yeah, they're playing the Warriors.
Yeah, the Warriors.
Close game, actually, believe it or not.
But I think they're going to be fine. You know, it just looks like the Spurs and Thunder are going to be on a collision course in the Western Conference Finals. Mm-hmm. You know, not to say that Denver might not have something to say about that. I'm not really big on the Lakers, to be honest with you.
This Luka train's got to stop, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm tired of hearing it, bro. They're trying to literally, like, they just took like a giant Luka dildo and just shoved it down everyone's throat. They're like, everyone's gonna take this today, and it's just been every day for the last like month. And it's like, I can appreciate what Luka's doing, but the recency bias in the NBA is the most crazy like thing in the world. And everyone's like, well, Luka's in 4th place for the MVP voting. That doesn't make any sense. Like, we're just going to completely forget about December and January for him. Like,
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me.
Dang, that could have been your rant right there.
that was going to be my rant, actually, is the MVP race. But we're talking about the Spurs. And I think the only 2 players that should even be talked about in the MVP voting at all for the rest of the season is Wemby and Shea. That's it. Nobody else is even in the conversation.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, you could argue Jokic too a little bit, but
he didn't play for a month.
Yeah,
I don't care what anybody says. He's 3rd, and he's firmly 3rd.
Yeah,
but that's where he's at, and that's where he should and will finish. And I think the odds, like the betting odds, indicate that like Shea is significantly ahead. But Wemby's played fantastic this year. I just think Wemby's offense isn't consistent enough. I think if Wemby averaged like, let me see what he's averaging right now before I even say anything, because I don't want to sound like
I just had it up.
He's averaging 24.5. I think if he was averaging like 28, and I know that doesn't sound like a big difference, but if he was averaging like 28 points, he'd be the MVP.
And I think the biggest difference is the minutes played.
Yeah, because he actually is like 10th in minutes played in the NBA or something. Like, he's way down there for like out of like all the MVP candidates. He's like the last of all the MVP candidates because he played. That's my other issue with him is he had that like 3-week stretch where he's playing off the bench. You can't be MVP if you're coming off the bench. I'm sorry. Like, yes, what you contribute to the team is huge, but like if Shea was coming off the bench or if Luka was coming off the bench, I don't even think people would really want to talk about that, you know?
Well, the argument could be made too that he didn't want to rush himself back, and being the leader that he is, he didn't make it about himself. But when he did get fully healthy, I mean, he's head and shoulders the best defensive player in the game.
Oh yeah, by a mile.
And how he affects the team when he's on the court, and that's what I'm saying. By a per minute basis, you could make an argument that he is the MVP. Shea is definitely a better offensive player, but how much of his offense is predicated on getting to the free throw line? Like there's that too.
I love this argument, by the way.
Here we go.
But I mean, that's just the reality. He's outshot in the last couple of games teams and free throw attempts. And how much is that, them giving him the whistle because he's a superstar. I'm not taking anything away from him, but I think the turnaround that the Spurs have had definitely is because of Wemby. And I said it before, he's definitely a top 5 player, and he's just solidifying it. And let's not forget about the defensive aspect of the game. I think he's more well-rounded, to be honest.
Sean?
No, yeah, I mean, everyone can say the free throw merchant or whatever. The way that he plays, he's always in the paint. Like, Shea does not shoot threes. Shea is consistently in the paint. He's consistently taking tough shots. He's not taking cupcake shots. He's getting a lot of contact. Do I think that he has more of a whistle than a lot of players? Sure, we can make that argument. But Shea's game is not predicated around free throws. His whole game is mid-range shots, taking efficient shots. He's shooting 60% true percentage from the field. His true shooting percentage is like 60. That's ridiculous for a guard. I don't care how you cut it. That's ridiculous. And frankly, OKC's offense is horrendous without him on the court. We've had a ton of injuries this year. I mean, Jalen's been hurt. McCain coming in has helped a lot as far as like spreading the floor and giving us like another scoring option. But if you take Shea out of OKC, how many win team do you think OKC is? 40?
Probably.
35, 40?
Probably.
If you take Wemby out of San Antonio, how many other star players does San Antonio have that they could get wins? They're probably still a 50-win team without Wemby, in my opinion. I think MVP and like value of player is so important. And again, what Wemby does on defense is huge. Wemby will be MVP probably next year. Like he will be undeniable to a certain point. And again, we've had this conversation. OKC and San Antonio are going to be powerhouses for probably the next 10 years in the NBA. I think it's the road to the title is going to go through one of those two teams, minus an injury to Shea or minus an injury to Wemby. And even if Wemby gets hurt, I can still see San Antonio being competitors because I still like Harper. I still like Castle. I still like a lot of what they have going on. I would love to see them get like another big to play with Wemby personally. But I don't know. I just think when you take Shea off the court, OKC is significantly worse than when you take Wemby off the court. That's just my opinion. And I think if you take the wins, and I get, you can make the same argument about honestly LA with Luka. Frankly, it's just Luka is like very hot and cold, whereas Shea is like consistently going to score 30 points a night, no matter what. Okay. And how many players that watch OKC can name another player besides Shea Gilgeous? They're a small market team. I mean, yes, but we watch sports. But
I don't watch them that much.
But you watch sports. If you take his argument is don't watch regularly. If you're taking someone that doesn't watch regularly, are they going to name someone off of OKC?
Probably not.
Let's be realistic. You're not going to know Hardenstein. You're not going to really name Chet. A lot of people don't really know who Chet is if you don't watch basketball. You're not going to be able to name either of the J-Dubs. You're not going to name AJ Mitchell. You're not naming Caruso. You're not naming a lot of these players. I'm sorry. That's just not going to happen.
It's funny. One of the first three that came to mind was, SGA and then Chet out of all people. And then I think that was it. I was like,
Yeah, but if you're talking about non-regular basketball watchers, nobody. But to be fair, if you take that, like, if you took out LeBron and Luka out of LA, who's naming Reeves? Who's naming Kennard? Who's naming these players? Right? Like, it's a lot of teams that you can say that for. But I think a lot of people know who Stephon Castle is. A lot of people know who Dylan Harper is. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Again, I know more about sports, so to me, it's like.
You have a point, but I think it's a little bit of a stretch. I'll say it like that. But you have a point.
For me?
Yes.
What point? Like naming a player?
Yeah, but when you're saying it in terms of the Spurs, though.
No, but I'm saying is like I just said for me, like I watch more sports, so I'm looking at it a little differently. I can understand that, but again, it goes for probably almost every team. Name me a player off of the Utah Jazz. If you told a regular casual person that, they're never going to name you a player off the Utah Jazz. Like Lauri Markkanen,
one?
Maybe. Do you know how many people are going to know that Jaren Jackson
plays for the
Utah Jazz now? Nobody.
And the one that they drafted.
Like Isaiah Collier, Keontae George doesn't even play there anymore. Like Keontae George is another one. Like those aren't players you're just going to be able to name. I don't know. And again, that falls for a lot of teams, in my opinion. Like to say, a casual viewer isn't going to be able to name players. That goes for almost every NBA team, minus the superstar players. Name me a Pelicans player that isn't Zion Williamson.
Oh, it's the same with the Suns. Name someone else besides Devin Booker.
Gillespie.
Yeah, but that train has died.
But I know his name.
I know, but but besides Booker, I don't think anyone cares about anyone else.
I mean, to be fair, they also have Grayson Allen. I think anybody that's watched basketball really knows who Grayson Allen is.
A non-fan would not know Grayson Allen from college. Like,
Dylan Brooks, to be fair, that his name is.
But it's almost in a bad way.
Yeah, Jalen Green.
I have a love-hate relationship with him.
Yeah, I don't know. Unfortunately, that is with a lot of teams. I think we can all agree. Like, if you just took an NBA team and have you seen the YouTube videos where like these YouTubers ask like fans, "Oh, name me the players on your team," and they can't even name like more than one or two players, and that's people that go to events. Like if you don't really watch sports, you're not going to be able to name a significant amount of players, or if you don't play fantasy or whatever it is.
Unfortunately, as a girl, I feel like I get that often because that's how a lot of men are sometimes with females, essentially. Like, oh, name the blood type of the center from 1972.
There's some people that could do that too. That's the craziest thing.
And
But
then
no,
they're
I mean-
surprised when I name like the whole starting lineup, you know?
Yeah. I think that's a very unfair argument though to like say, oh, this person should be MVP because you can't name someone else on the team. I think that's a little crazy, but
yeah.
Again, that's a lot of teams. Like no one's going to be able to name you the Detroit Piston.
I can only see his face. I don't even know his name.
Exactly.
But say a player and let me see if it's
Me?
who I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Asura Thompson, Jalen Duren, Cade Cunningham.
Oh, that's who I'm thinking of.
Cade? That's what I'm saying. Cade was in top 5 in MVP conversations this year, and you couldn't even think of his name off the top of your head. And you watch sports.
Right. I know,
like,
and I have his face like right in front of me. Yeah. Because didn't he just have the
you're probably
lung?
the same. Like you could name a lot of players, but like there's a lot of players you can't think of. Like if I told you to take 3 of the top players off an NBA team, if any NBA team, you'd be like, oh shit. You really have to scratch your noggin a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just how it is. And you know what? At the end of the day, this is like a long-winded argument of like both of these players are both either of them won MVP. It would be fine. I think Wemby, again, I think that Shea wins it this year, but I wouldn't be mad if Wemby won it. And I do think from this year forward, I would not be shocked if Wemby won MVP 3 years in a row. He is out of this world. My whole argument with him, and I said it at the beginning of the season, remember, guy, if he stays healthy, he's elite. It's just, can he stay healthy? He stayed healthy for most of the year, and if he doesn't have any issues, and if he goes and cuts his hair again and becomes a monk, he might become Jesus on the court. Like, he might ascend. But he's so good. I think we all knew he was going to be a generational prospect coming over. That was a literal sweepstakes to win that player. And yeah, I think the Spurs and OKC are going to be the 2 teams. It's going to be like, the Dodgers and the Yankees at the MLB. Like those are going to be the teams you have to go through to make the World Series.
Yippee. What a joy. Can't wait. All right. I think that's it from me in terms of like any news and updates. NFL, they had the coaches meeting, of course.
Self. Remember we talked about Self.
He's returning.
He was coming back, but that was like the whole rumors last week we were talking about.
But I was like confused though, because today is also like April Fool's. So a lot of posts I saw, I'm like, can I really believe this or not? But he is for sure coming back.
I forgot it was April Fool's today. I'm not gonna lie. Nobody played any pranks on me.
I
don't take people serious.
I only saw that because I was in like a New York Jets chat and they posted something and like I think the bottom of the caption said April Fool's. It was something ridiculous though. Like literally it would never happen. But the coaches meeting was today. It's funny. Did you see how the coaches like the video of the coaches all partying at the pool?
For what, the NFL?
Yeah, the NFL coaches meeting. It's the annual coaches meeting. Did you see that?
Meeting. What's his name missed the photo because he was getting a haircut?
Who?
The guy I think it's the Ravens coach, Mentor. What's his name?
Oh yeah.
One of them missed the photo because he was getting a haircut, and they finished the coaches meeting early, so they took the photo early. Him and McVay missed the photo.
McVay, I kind of expect.
McVay's too busy studying film.
Aaron Glenn did not look very happy up in that photo either. And I didn't see him by the pool, and I'm like, dude, you can't have a good time, or you out here taking a nap again.
Yeah, because he's probably fucking passed out plaster because he's got to be the Jets head coach.
Yeah.
That's the only way we do it. Well, he said this week, quote my words, Gino will take the Jets to the promised land. That is,
Didn't the Raiders say the same thing? They end up with the first pick, so we know how that's going to look. Hey, at least y'all will get Arch Manning next year. Woo!
I was going to make a video on that, but I didn't want to like try and clown too much because I mean, what else is he gonna say? You know what I mean? I think you have to.
Anything. You look like an idiot when
you have to talk positively because obviously he's on your team. You know what I mean? But no one's expecting much. You're not going to sit here and be like, "Oh, we just expect him to be at best, mediocre and get us just enough wins so we get the number 1 pick next year." He's not going to say that.
That's what I would say. Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Guy, did you have a rant this week?
I kind of did have a rant. This is going to be outside the box because this has to do with soccer. And, the last 6 teams on Tuesday qualified for the World Cup. Congratulations to Democratic Republic of Congo, Iraq, Czechia, Turkey, Sweden, and Bosnia Herzegovina. My rant is to the Italian Soccer Federation. You missed now the last 3 World Cups. Italy has won the World Cup 4 different occasions. They won the European title in 2021. They have a decorated history, one of the best historical, countries when it comes to soccer. But their legacy has taken a hit. No former winner has missed 3 consecutive World Cups. So they are in an identity crisis right now. The number one sport in Italy is hands down soccer. Mm-hmm. However, with the recent developments of baseball and basketball, they're usually pretty good, and everything else happening, I wonder if soccer is trending down in Italy. And it, as crazy as that is even to say, while they have one of the best leagues in the world, the Serie A, they still have legendary players that are around. They've always been known for a physical brand of soccer, a defensive first, we're going to score a goal and just play airtight defense. They don't do that anymore. And, they lost in a playoff to Bosnia Herzegovina, a country of 3 million. Tough people, play with a lot of heart. They remind me more of Italy than Italy, actually, by playing. 4 years ago, they lose in a playoff to North Macedonia, another small country playing with big heart. How do you change this, right? Soccer has a lot to do with identity. Mm-hmm. Culturally, you are what you present on the field. Philosophically, how you see the world and see the game is how you kind of play it. Kind of like, Brazil kind of is going through an identity crisis. They're known for the jogo bonito, the beautiful game, the joy, the flair. They kind of don't have that they used to have. So I know the game is changing, but I am saying that in the biggest World Cup in history, now there's 48 teams, Italy missed the World Cup, and it had ample opportunity to qualify for this World Cup. So I am calling out the Italian Soccer Federation, to make changes. You can't try to be anybody else than who you are. Even if it's not aesthetically pleasing, everybody likes goals, everybody likes, flair and all that. But if your identity has always been defense and toughness, be that. Don't try to change because it doesn't look good on TV, or, the new generation doesn't understand that style. Being anything, and this is a lesson in life, being anything other than yourself is always going to end up in a loss. So be true to yourself, and hopefully in 2030
it's crazy to even think that far ahead.
Yeah, and it sucks for like the Italians that live here, because there is a large Italian population, especially up here in the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. They've expressed their utter disappointment. And the last time the World Cup was here in the United States, Italy famously or infamously lost in a penalty shootout against Brazil. Roberto Baggio hits it over the crossbar. and they lose, but we're far removed from a great Italian team who won the World Cup in 06. So it's not like it's that far removed, but yes, the precipitous drop of Italian soccer needs to be studied, and somebody needs to go and fix that shit because it is messed up.
This is the video that we'll clip this whole portion and I'll send it to them via email right quick. Oh, I love how you did this too. All right, Sean.
I had like 40 rants today. I think I got my rants out. I was kind of spazzing today a little bit.
Who did you pop off on? We popped off on
Tiger,
Ivy,
Puka,
Tiger, Puka.
Ivy, the fucking NBA.
Everyone. Oh, Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge. Fuck.
All the players get equal hate around here.
Yeah. I disrespect everybody equally,
Yeah. All right. Well, I want to wrap up the show by announcing the winner one more time. Again, at Wayne1487, you are the winner of those 2 tickets for the Orlando Magic game. I'm jealous. Hey! cue the claps, Drin. Well, we appreciate you joining us every single Wednesday at 9:30 Eastern. And again, please like and subscribe to the Pop Sports Network on every single social media channel. We have shows every single day of the week, so you will never be behind. And that is it from us. We will see you next week. Bye, you guys.